Hello and welcome everybody. We have the NAEU patch notes for September 18th. Let's get right into it. So for the class changes we got on Sorceress Succession, the Prime Turnback Slash has been changed so now you can you now press WC to combo into Prime Violation. Absolute Darkness and Black Wave has been changed to the key command of SRB. Absolute Darkness has been changed so it now activates when repeatedly using Sinister Energy. Absolute Darkness has also removed the magic damage reduction on hits debuff, and they've adjusted the skill damage accordingly. So here we can see it now sitting at 2046% with a 58% multiplier. Absolute Darkness as well has increased the maximum projectile range by 60% of the previous Absolute skill's level range. Prime Dream of Doom, they've changed to now apply super armor while casting. It's also changed to no longer apply defensive effects when attacking or using Imminent Doom, and they changed the cost to 150 stamina per second while casting, matching the Prime Bloody Calamity. Storming Crow 2 has been changed to a bound effect to apply in PvE only. They've also changed so that skills with both defensive effects and debuffs are now Prime Bloody Calamity and Blade of Darkness, and they've changed the movement speed debuff from -15 for 5 seconds to -20 for 5 seconds. Prime Bloody Calamity, they've added a stun on attack 1 hits and a knockdown on attack 2. This is also in PvP, but they've removed the bleeding damage and all accuracy decrease on hits. Prime Crow Flare, they've changed the debuffs attacks and casting speed from -5 on hits to an all accuracy -36 for 10 seconds on hits. The Prime Black Wave, they've added an attack and casting speed debuff of -20 for 5 seconds on hits. Shadow Eruption and Dream of Doom, they've improved to now be activated via quick slot with your scythe. Shadow Eruption, 1 to Absolute, they've removed the brief camera slowdown effect when used while idle. And in Awakening, they've changed Shadow Leap so that it can now be activated via quick slot with your amulet. And Blade of Darkness has been changed. They've changed the defensive effect forward guard at the start of the skill to forward guard during the skill. Then we got Tamer Awakening, some tiny changes. On Beast Rampage, they adjusted the extra attack motion to match the actual hit detection, and they increased the number of extra attack hits by 1, and they increased the activation speed. All around Spinner, they increased the activation speed. Then we immediately go into Valkyrie Succession. So we have Prime Judgment of Light 1 to 3. It's been improved so you can now combo more quickly into Honor Blade with faster motion, and they've adjusted the slowdown effect on your character's motion when using a skill. Prime Divine Power, again, they've improved to perform instantly when using via key command, and using via quick slot will now activate after the initial motion as before. Succession Ultimate Righteous Charge is a new skill on WF, which has 6,000 damage, maximum 10 targets, recovers 150 SP, forward guard, with an all debuff resistance except grapple, including from back attacks, and a knockback on hits in PvE, and a 55% damage reduction in PvP. Righteous Charge has been improved so you can now combo more quickly into Punishment, Just Counter, Prime Judgment of Light, and Prime Purificatone on after hits. Corsair, we have the succession changes, so Prime Storming Gale, they've improved to transition faster from attack 1 to 2, and improved to combo faster into Prime Wave Pout from attack 2. Ocean Melancholy has also been improved to combo faster into Rising Whirlpool and Tidal Surge. And then we have some damage adjustments. Absolute Overflow is going up to 6,200 with a 25% reduction going down. Prime Storming Gale, damage increase to 4,000 on both attacks, with the PvP damage going down to 30. Prime Wave Pout going up in damage, 7,300, and a down on the PvP damage modifier to 29. Absolute Tide's Kiss, damage is going up to 7,000 with a PvP modifier of 31. Ocean's Pearl, the explosion damage is going up to 10,700, and a PvP damage reduction of 38. Prime Captain's Orders Open Fire is going up to 9,100% and 32% reduction. Prime Wave Lash going up to 4,906 on 4,906% on all hits and 26% damage reduction. Prime Wipeout going up to 7,300 and 9,800 on last hit with a PvP damage reduction of 32. Prime Orega Spiral Soak going up to 8,700% and 14,600 with a PvP damage reduction of 24. Prime Orega Whale Song is going up to 3,600 and 9,100 on attack 2 with 40% reduction. Absolute Whirlpool is going up to 2,200, and the last attack as well. PvP damage reduction of 63. Absolute Tidal Slash is going up a tiny bit to 2,400 with a PvP damage reduction of 53%. Absolute Crashing Wave is going up to 4,800, 3,300, and 6,600 on the extra attack. The PvP damage modifier on attack 1 is at 63, and 44% on attack 2, and the extra attack damage in PvP only. Absolute Squall going up to 5,700 and 31% reduction. Vigor Rush going up to 6,100 and 7,700 with a 41% reduction. Wave Blast going up to 7,500 and a 36% reduction. Rising Whirlpool going down. Wave Blast also going down, excuse me. Same for Vigor Rush. So Vigor Rush, Wave Blast, Rising Whirlpool going down in damage, excuse me. But attack damage going down to 6,700, and the damage reduction is going up to 41%. In Awakening, Wind Piercer Petrarca, they've improved the combo faster into Surface Slicer Petrarca. Captain's Orders Open Fire, the cooldown has been changed from 13 to 12 seconds. This has also changed the skill add-on tier. Sun Shielder Petrarca, they've changed the cooldown from 10 to 8 seconds. Pirate's Life for Me, they changed the cooldown from 5 to 4, and it's been changed to deal less damage during cooldown. And we have some more damage adjustments. So on the Code of Scallywags, the Acting Captain's Bomb is going up to 1,900, 34% reduction. The Scallywag Trio Hand Cannon up to 2,634%, and the Cannon going up to 1,800% with 34% reduction. Spare No Quarter going up to 4,300 and 6,500 with a 38% reduction. Surface Slicer Petrarca going up to 5,700 and 58% reduction. Sun Shielder Petrarca going up to 7,700 with a 47% reduction. Crow's Mark going up to 7,600 with a 48% reduction. Captain's Orders Open Fire going up to 9,400 and 12,500% with a 33% reduction. Flow Earthrender Petrarca going up to 7,100 and 44% reduction. Wind Piercer Petrarca going up to 7,100 and 38% reduction. Pirate's Life for Me going up to 3,800 and 5,800 on the later hits with a 38% reduction. Ocean's Allure going up to 5,200% with a 46% reduction. The Mist Effect is going up a very minimal amount, but by 50 with a 46% reduction. Close Quarters Charge going up to 8,100 and a 48% reduction. Tide Splitter Petrarca going up to 4,500 and a 46% reduction. Entangling Vortex going up to 6,600 and 48% reduction. And Close Quarters Suppress going up to 3,700, 5,500 with a 53% reduction. Then Nova Awakening is getting a small change. Excel Break Orbit, they've improved to activate up to 2 times continuously from any direction when holding the key command, and it applies invincibility even when activated continuously. They've also changed the motion, adjusting it to consecutive activations from any direction now occur with the same timing. I don't really feel it was needed, but Awakened Novas will probably differ. Twisted Orbit and Excel Twisted Orbit has also been changed, so you can now press L and B to combo into Royal Fencing Lunge during the cooldown. Drakania Awakening has been adjusted. The Legacy skill has been changed, so the plus 18 AP and plus 15% attack speed is activated regardless of Dragon Blood or Hexy Blood state. Hexy Blood Savage Decree, they've increased the activation speed for attacks 2 and 3. Same for Storm Piercer for attack 1 to 3. Hexy Blood Flow Conceal Claw, changed so holding RB will now combo into the Hex Blood Storm Piercer's attack 2. And Dragon Blood Sundering Roar, they've increased the activation speed. Damage adjustments have been made on Hexblood Savage Decree, going up to 3,800 on the first 2 attacks and 5,400 on the third, with a 39% reduction on the first 2 and 46% on the third. Hexblood Storm Piercer, attack 1 and 2 are at 4,800%, with attack 3 at 4,000, and the damage reduction is 43% and 45% on attack 3. Black Spirit Storm Piercer going up to 7,800% damage and 40% reduction. Then we get into Wukong. So we have the Celestial Nectar. It's been changed so that when the skill is locked, the effect of dashing towards enemies struck with your power pole during the Wukong's hair will no longer activate. Heaven's Pivot, they've increased the duration of the super armor to now last until just before the finish motion after retrieving your power pole. And It Ain't Over has been improved, so now activated within the set movement distance when using the Fighting Buddha state, regardless of the Wukong's hair effect. Then we have some general class changes, so Sorceress, Dream of Doom, Prime Dream of Doom, Bloody Calamity. They fixed an issue with the skill descriptions did not display the stamina consumption while maintaining the casting. Mystics, Hurricane Kick. They fixed an issue with a skill at pressing L and B would activate Gushing Waters Awakening skill before the Flow Death Cloud main weapon skill. Also on Mystic, they changed so that attacking with L and B after jumping would always make you land regardless of height. Fall damage based on height still applied as before. Mystic Flow's Strike Through, they fixed an issue where your character would flicker when used on high ground. Mystic, they've added effects to Flow Strikes Through and LMB actions after jumping. Mystic Wave Orb, they fixed an issue where texts about accuracy remained in a description. On Striker, they fixed an issue where you couldn't use skills during certain motions while idle in combat with your main weapon. Striker, they also fixed an issue where you couldn't activate certain skills, such as Twisted Collision during certain motions while idling with your main weapon. Lawn's Sacred Dance, they fixed awkward animations when used with your Crimson Glaives. Guardian, Fierce Disdain, they fixed animations to match the actual attack area. Wukong Black Spirit Upheaval and Scorch It All, they've changed the effects to better reflect the Black Spirit's rage consumed. Wukong, they've improved the motion of sheathing weapon with tab while moving, while in combat stance to appear more natural. Wukong, again, improved the naturalness of certain social actions. Wukong, they fixed an issue with skill enhancement key guides not being displayed properly in gamepad mode. Wukong, they fixed an issue where dismount and injury effects were not properly applied when hitting targets with Black Spirit Rage skills. Again, Wukong, they've improved the falling motion while airborne during Black Spirit's Upheaval. Black Wukong, under the same skill, they fixed an issue where the evasion debuff was applied to targets other than yourself during the skill. Wukong, It Ain't Over, they've improved the skill so that your character now rotates based on the camera direction and the Fighting Buddha state, matching the normal one. They also fixed an issue where attempting to grapple a target with more than 2 CC points would occasionally result in a successful grapple. And they fixed an issue where summons weren't applying beneficial buffs to self and allies during world boss subjugations. Then we have some content update on the contribution XP reward for the main quest completion. So pretty much all quests ranging from Belanos to the War of the Roses, they've increased the amount of contribution XP that can be obtained. They've also adjusted the required contribution XP. So if you were in the following brackets, they pretty much adjust the required XP. So here we can see some reductions by up to almost 50% or slightly above 50%. And it fluctuates between these values, going down in some cases down to 5.3, but then back up. So overall, you will have gained some CP across the board. You may also, after the update, have your contribution XP displaying as over 100%. If this happens, earning more XP will then increase your contribution points. Throne of Edana, they've made a few changes. Sadly, not all the ones that people have been asking for. So they changed the challenger's application period as following. So you will now be able to apply from Monday midnight on NA or to the following Sunday. And on EU, we can also see here CEST from Monday midnight to Sunday midnight. Hopefully this will come with a soon changing announcement that you are chosen a bit earlier. They've also adjusted the condition for displaying dialogue button at each castle's throne. So before, the button displayed after completing the weekly qualification, and after, the button will be displayed if you have the castle's geographic knowledge. They've also extended the Edana's Rising token validity from 3 hours to 24 hours. Tokens obtained before the update will keep their original duration. They've added the Dark Fog mechanic to the game of Edana's, aka the final fight between the Challenger and the Edana. The Dark Fog will now close in from the start of the battle until 1 minute before the end and resets each round. They've also reduced the final space in the Dark Fog by 25% in the 10 Challenger battle. They've also changed the combat location for Orbiter Castle's game of Edana's and the candidate selection battles, so here we can see the arena. They've also changed some fish catches in certain regions, so the bass can now appear instead of sand eels in the Israel Highlands. They've also changed so the hammer mackerel no longer appears near the god of fishing at Velia Beach. The hammer mackerel can still be caught in the nearby seas around Velia. The blue bat star and yellow corvina can now be caught near the god of fishing. They've removed the golden albacore from Heidel's water near the storage keeper, and as a result, Pure Crew's catch rate has been roughly doubled. They've also changed so the pink dolphin can now appear instead of the white grouper and albino coelacanth in Upper Grana. That is a big change for the Grana fishers. They've also removed the white grouper from Lake Flondor and its tributaries, and as a result, the pink dolphin's catch rate has roughly been quadrupled. So we might actually see a lot of people fishing at Grana and Lake Flondor soon. Then we have a nice little change. For free, the Fairies Continuous Care 5 has been increased from 20 to 25 selectable items. They've also added a chance to obtain the Lightstone of Fire Twisted when crafting Purified Lightstones of Fire via alchemy in your residence. They've changed the prize catch fish, specifically polka dot stingray and pinecone fish, so they can no longer be delivered via Imperial delivery. If you delivered these between August 28th and today, you will be compensated with the silver difference between the trade delivery and Imperial delivery. They've also added the following items to the exchange list of the Dark Spirit's Greed and Managed Currency. This is from the Dark Rifts. So you now get the Ancient Magic Crystal of Nature Adamantine, Fighting Spirit, and Giant for 30 Dark Spirit's Greed. Monster Zones, Zephyrus Castle is having a bit of changes. They've added a reward mechanic for defeating Beelzebub after in Zephyrus Castle. They've added a new effect as well, where the ground darkens when the hatchery releases Kafka's energy during combat. This effect persists until the reward mechanic that appears after Beelzebub ends. They've also reduced the damage of certain monster attacks by 20%, but increased their forward guard damage by 10%. They've also added 30% extra guard damage to Beelzebub's attacks. They've changed so Beelzebub's spawn requirements so that one of the additional group hatchery monsters must be defeated. They've also improved the death animation for Shadow Knights to appear more natural, adjusted the item drop rates from the monsters in the zone to match the new mechanics. So with that, they've changed the number of hardened lava chunks dropped by Beelzebub up to 340 and to 350. And they changed the number of lava chunks dropped by Shadow Knights up to 28 to 32. And they've adjusted the Agris Fever consumption of the following monsters. So Thebe, Metis, Shadow Priest going down by 1 to 14, and Shadow Knights going up by 5 to 140. Tenebraum, they've widened the Manticore's attack after it's liberated from mind control, now targeting the Ancient Ator's remnants. They've reduced the time it takes for the Manticore to be sealed at the altar after the Ancient Ator remnants defeat mechanic ends. They've also improved it so that the remnants are not defeated after a long time when the Manticore reaches 70 or 40%. The zone will reset, and they change it so the Ancient Ator remains disappear more quickly after being defeated. Quests and knowledge-wise, they've added more Edana subquests, they've added a quest about the Rations Thief and his background, and they added a quest about exploring the Hashishin's funeral rites and their significance. Further, it's also been changed so that the Black Spirit appearance feature unlocks after completing all Edana main quests. Node and Conquest Wars, they've adjusted the fort location in Calpheon. Here we can see I think this is the Hexy zone. So before it was on the hill, now it will be at the bottom. World map, UI improvements, they've overhauled the world map for more intuitive and convenient controls. So they rearranged the menu button layout to organize the world map into 3 functions, function, filter, and mode. They've improved the filters apparently, consolidated all filters into a single group, now expanded by selecting the filter button at the top left of the screen. They've relocated the function buttons, so they relocated the key functions button to the top middle, and they relocated mode buttons to the top right, so they are still where they were. Otherwise, they've added new UI elements, added a Find My Location button and a scroll bar for zoom in out levels at the bottom of the screen. They've improved the knowledge icon display. At default, zoom shows individual icons. Alt at +2 zoom out, the icons group by node. At further zoom out, the icons get grouped by territory, and then pressing grouped icons will display a knowledge list for that region. Another small improvement in the UI department, the title is now displayed in their actual color when applied, and newly obtained titles will show a new today icon in both tab and the title list, and will appear at the very top of the list. And finally, they adjusted the wait time for applying or removing titles from 60 to 30 seconds. Furthermore, there was also an issue where the glow color of all titles was always blue. It has now been changed to match the title's color. This should make some of the other titles pop a little bit more. In the web, they've improved the OTP settings complete UI and added a button for quick mobile number registration. They've improved the forum category menu UI and the official website for mobile users, and they improved the official website so image and video slide pop-ups can now be closed with the escape key. Translation-wise, they changed and unified the following in English. So the knowledge underground star is now the knowledge stars below. And in Calpheon, the defense of Calpheon has been changed to Calpheon, the defense of Calpheon with an S, not a C. Modified or changed is quite large this time, so they fixed an issue that prevented normal movement near coastal areas of Solution Sea and Odalita Castle. They also fixed some issues where summoning Crocodile in the desert with a horn would cause it to appear in Doom's form. They also fixed an issue where Crocodile would appear transparent if cold while parked above water. Further, they fixed an issue where summoning an alpaca in deep water didn't work smoothly. They fixed an issue where equipment durability would change after mounting or dismounting a damaged mount. All barter items stored in the affected inventory have been moved to Ilia Island storage. They fixed an issue where the critical hit was not functioning correctly in the Arena of Solaire following the combat system overhaul on July 24th, so do watch out for that. They fixed an issue where the following monsters did not properly deal max HP proportional damage when attacking. This was Red Nose and Phantom Knight. It's been changed so that the building icons now display correctly in the list of available buildings during NX construction. It's also been changed that the top notification message now appear properly in the chat window. They removed the unobtainable Despoiler of Relics title from the title list. They've deleted the weekly quest related text from the Throne of Edana window when the weekly quest is incomplete. Optimized UI elements displayed above NPC's head. Fixed an issue where inappropriate messages would appear when applying an empty artifact preset in the all-in-one presets. Updated the Marnie's Realm Private Monster Zone window, hovering over the question mark next to the remaining Labyrinth tab shows a description. They fixed an issue where the enhancement success notification message at the top of the screen did not display proper spacing. They fixed an issue where the feed icon wouldn't show a red highlight when the alpha pet was summoned, then there was no feed. They fixed an issue where Afar would spawn underground and could not be hit in the Furnace of Life node during lumbering. Bamboo Legion, visitors to the Hanji country, fixed an issue where some of the dialogues did not appear and navigation did not guide correctly. In Zephyrus, Darkness Beckons, there's some fixes for changing the input key for the cutscene from R to F. And they fixed an issue where the altar did not appear after destroying the artifact during the quest progression. Zephyrus Abyssal Rift, they've updated the conditions for displaying certain choices during the quest. Edana Dreamscape, they fixed an issue where the quest could not be properly accepted or completed. Edana Truth of the World, or the True Edana, the Pact, they've added knowledge reward to these quests. If you have completed them, you should have received them. Zephyrus to the Scorched Land, they fixed an awkward movement of the monster's theme and metas during combat. Odalita, they fixed typos in the quest dialogue and knowledge entries and item descriptions. Zephyrus, Scroll of Dark Power, they improved the quest so it can be combined with the Scroll of Dark Power now displays an effect. They fixed an issue where adventurers could move through the ancient slate in the ruins of Zephyrus. Also fixed an issue where knowledge couldn't be obtained. You can now acquire this knowledge by interacting with the slate after completing the Zephyrus Ambushed main quest. They fixed some orb animations for Tor during certain attacks in the Karshan battle in Tenebraum. They also fixed awkward placement of Goyen at the Crossroads of Defiance. Fixed an issue where dying from Zarka summoned monsters attacks incorrectly applied a death penalty. They fixed an issue where ship cannon damage was not applied correctly when exceeding certain ranges. They also fixed where opening Advice of Valks 1 to 2 did not properly grant the Advice of Valks. And if you opened these items and received Advice of Valks between September 11th and 18th, you will have they've been collected and reissued as the correct item. They also fixed an issue where they failed Edana's selling Marnie scrolls in Edana could not be found after adventurers left the area and came back. Then they fixed some issues on Papa Cronea where monsters could not either be defeated too easily or wouldn't take damage. Gamepad mode fixes, they fixed an issue for the keyboard guide in HP dropping below 20. They also fixed an issue where the X button appeared on the top right of the Abyss 1 equipment. Gamepad mode, they added guild members activity notification to the notification settings. Gamepad mode, they fixed an issue where item details could not be viewed by pressing the details in the weekly fishing contest. More gamepad mode fixes of viewing details by class in the Arena of Solaire rankings. Also added a function to view paint recharge values in Alan Servan's landscape. They fixed an issue where the alpaca icon appeared awkward when hovering over it. They also fixed an issue where Ardana's jump height was too low in shallow water. They've changed so that exiting from the Pit of Undying to a Nodewar area within 50 minutes of Nodewar start now moves you to the nearest safe zone. They've also changed the monster kill count phrase during the Edana cutscene from remaining monsters to monsters defeated. They fixed an issue where Eden's dialogue from the Society of Equilibrium after the final Gladius did not match the voiceover. Fixed issues where certain NPCs, certain NPC appearance during the Zephyrus Servant of Crimson Root quest looked awkward. Then they fixed some issues where the Kafra Sapling 5 could not be progressed. Deleted the Black Spirit Guide for the daily Token of Promise quests that can no longer be completed. They've improved so that loot obtained from the Manticore's drops to 70 and 40% in Tenebraum is now properly distributed to adventurers actively engaged in battle. They also fixed an issue where Edana's domain in Tenebraum did not include certain areas of monster zones, and they fixed an issue where ancient Notor remnants would sometimes not be defeated and remain in Tenebraum. They also fixed issues where monsters in Tenebraum would occasionally not return to their spawn location and become unkillable. Fixed awkward background visuals at certain locations in the Golden Pig Cave of Light. Fixed an issue of camera angles in the Edana Abyssal Vein NPC appeared awkward. They also fixed an issue where kill count UI appeared unnatural when changing titles during Red Battlefield. Fixed issues where some adventurers' names would occasionally appear blue on Arsha Anonymous. They fixed an issue where go to XX button at the bottom of the events window could not be pressed if the text was truncated. They fixed awkward images to select starting zone and adventure log selection screens. Fixed an issue where toggle furniture names and durability function was not working. And they fixed the description of Mount Brand spellstones to accurately reflect available targets. And finally, they fixed issues where certain pets could not be checked in as intended in specific situations when using Take Out Your Pet group. With that, we're going to get into the events. We have the Dalashane brings 50% hot time. This is a life XP hot time from now until October 2nd, plus 50% excluding trading and mount XP. Also, Dalashane has a buff for 5 energy for 5 hours, which gives plus 25 mastery to both cooking and alchemy, and reduction of minus 5 on time. Then we have the login rewards being mentioned for September 19th to October 23rd. Pretty much standard stuff. We have our typical shards, foods, buffs, and the Radiant Shikato seals, with the Dreaming of Adventurers boxes trickled throughout. Overall, remember these Shikato seals will be disappearing at the end of the year, so do make use of them. Then we get to the Pearl Shop update. We have one family special progression support pack, which has some RNG bags in it, which is why it's not available in Belgium and Netherlands. 70% off for 1,539. A weekly 2+2 with an RNG box for 1,460. Then we get straight into the Valks enhancement support packs that we're used to, with the typical outfit, Artisan's Memories. Then we have the same thing for support pack returns 2. Then we have a specific September adventure support till October 2nd, with a Choose Your Fall Style pack for 3,300 pearls, 25% off, to grab one of these outfits. Then we have a 15-day value pack for 40% off for 450 pearls. Then we have a Choose Your 15-day box for 750 at 40% off. Choose Your Skill Change coupon box for 30% off for 875. Then another Artisan Memory pack for 45% off. And additional discounts are Functional Costumes, 30% off, and Fences of Abundance for 10% off for 1,080. Then we have a nice little bonus. We have a glimpse into the Edana character web. I will be putting the link in the description. We can also take a quick look at this. This is a bit of fun. You can definitely take a look at this when you get the chance. And it's a little bit too far to the right. As you can see, it's a nice little character web to explain the relations between everybody. But overall, take a look at it. You're going to have some fun with that. And like I said, the links will be in the description. And with that, I wish you the best of luck in BDO and all your endeavors.